Good morning, friends. So, today we are going to continue our lesson on force and laws of motion. So far we have done Newton's first law of motion, and I hope you do remember. It is also Galileo's law of inertia. So, the first law of motion is a body at rest tends to remain at rest, and a body in motion tends to remain in motion until an unbalanced external force acts upon it. Okay? And inertia is the tendency of the body to resist the change in state. Inertia is due to the virtue of its mass, but it is not necessarily due to the mass only. There are other factors like frictional force, which depends on the area of contact. Then we saw the types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, and inertia of direction. We also saw some applications, yes, due to the rules of inertia. Then we went to Newton's second law with the derivation. But what is Newton's second law? The force acting on a body is directly proportional to the change in momentum and in the direction of force applied. So you need to know what momentum is. Mathematically, momentum is mass into velocity. So Newton's second law is basically the mathematical form of Newton's first law, right? And we have done numericals also based on that. Today we are going to continue with Newton's third law. So Newton's third law of motion, it tells us how an applied force changes the motion. Okay, the first two law tells us how an applied force changes the motion. Meaning, when you apply a force, the acceleration of the body changes. Okay, now the third law says that when one object exerts a force on another object, the second object instantaneously exerts a force back on the first. We can use the word instantaneously or simultaneously. So when body A is applying a force on body B, at the same time the body B applies a force on body A. But this forces are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Very important. So if you have got a body A applying a force on body B, okay, at the same time body B applies a force on body A. So this force is equal in magnitude. So both these forces are simultaneous, means at the same time. While body A is applying a force on body B, at the same time body B is also applying a force on body A, which is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. These forces are called action and reaction forces. Now don't be confused by the words action and reaction. It is not here that action occurs first and then the reaction occurs. No. We have only named them action and reaction. So if the force of body A on body B is action, then the force of body B on body A is reaction, but action and reaction occur at the same time. Means if you hit your friend and your friend hits you back, that is not an example of action and reaction because it is happening one after the other. In physics here, action and reaction occur at the same time, simultaneously. So again, if the force of body A on body B is action, then at the same time the force of body B on body A is the reaction. They occur at the same time. They are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So, what you can see in the figure here, at the wall, a spring balance is fixed. At the hook, another spring balance is fixed, and a person is only pulling the spring balance A. So whatever the force is applied on A, you will notice that the same reading is there on B. So what does it mean? It means we are applying the force on A, but A is also applying the force on B. at the same time as this A is pulling the spring of B, at the same time B is also pulling the spring of A, and both the readings are same. So you can see in the figure that the readings are the same. What you can see, the spring B is attached to a rigid support like a wall. Okay, so on the free end of A, when you apply the force, what will you see? The spring, the force exerted by spring balance A on balance B is equal but opposite in direction. What does it mean? A is pulling B towards the right and B is pulling A towards the left. So the force is equal, that we know because the reading is the same but the direction is opposite. So if you call the force which the balance A exerts on balance B as the action, then the force of the balance B on balance A is called the reaction, which is occurring at the same time. So we will state Newton's third law of motion. To every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So remember, the word action and the word reaction means forces. So this is Newton's third law of motion. The word action and reaction mean forces. To every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Means every force, yes, when body A applies force on body B, at the same time the body B applies a force on body A, these forces are equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So every action has equal and opposite reaction. Okay, and also remember that action and reaction acts on two bodies. Means if the action is on A, then the reaction is on B. Okay, now it is important to note that even though the action and reaction forces are equal in magnitude, these forces may not produce accelerations of equal magnitude. Okay, we'll see. Means suppose you've got body A and B, they both apply force on each other. They're equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, so the net force will be zero, but it is not so. It creates an acceleration, but the acceleration may not be the same. Why it is not the same? Let us see. So here we have got a body MA. Okay, so we have got two objects, say two balls, A and B, whose masses are MA. The ball of mass A is MA and mass B is MB. They are traveling in the same direction. You can see the arrows in the same direction in a straight line but with different velocities. So MA is traveling with the velocity UA. The initial velocity is UA and UB respectively. So you can see this body MA is traveling with the velocity UA and the body MB is traveling with the velocity UB. So this is before collision. Okay, there is a velocity also and there is mass also. So mass of a body A is traveling with initial velocity UA. Mass of body B is traveling with velocity UB. Both are in the same direction. Now you know, if A wants to collide with B, when A wants to collide with B, it can only collide when the velocity of A is bigger than B. Okay, so the velocity of A is bigger than B, greater than, only then they will collide. So suppose they are colliding for a time t. Okay, they both are colliding for a short time t. Now here you can see Newton's third law. FAB, you can see FAB is the force of A on B, and at the same time force BA is the force of B on A. Equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So when the two bodies collide, they both are applying a force on each other which is equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. So both of them collide for a time, small time t. So the force ball A exerts the force AB on ball B and ball B applies the force BA on ball A. After collision, the velocities may change, may not change, may change, you do not know. But after collision, if the velocities change, let us say the body of mass MA is now traveling the velocity VA and the mass B is traveling the velocity vb. So before collision, both the bodies were traveling with different velocities. After collision, the velocities changed. The mass is not changing, the velocity has changed. So let us summarize. Let us see again the same diagram. Before collision, initial velocity of ball A was UA, of ball B was UB. Okay, the mass is MA and MB, which is not changing. But after collision, the final velocity of ball A is VA, final velocity of ball B is VB. And the collision lasts for a time T. So this is what we see. So, right? We saw this. Balls are colliding. And when the balls are colliding, the forces are acting on each other. So force on ball B due to A is FAB, on A due to B is FB. So forces are acting, they are equal and opposite in direction. So you saw what you can see here, they were traveling with initial velocity, but after collision, the velocity changed. The velocity of ball A changed from UA to VA, velocity of ball B changed from UB to VB. So now we go from Newton's third law to this law of conservation of momentum. Means conservation means what? No change. So it's telling here that the momentum of the system before the collision and the momentum of the system after the collision remains the same. We'll try to understand this. This is the condition before the collision. Okay, mass is same, velocity is UA. Here the velocity is changed to VA, but even then the total momentum of the system after the collision has not changed. It is conserved. How? Let us see. Now here when they collided for a time t, there were two forces. The force of A on B and force of B on A. They both are equal in magnitude, so they are written equal in magnitude. But what does this negative sign indicate? Opposite in direction. So the forces are equal in magnitude, opposite direction. Now what is the formula of force? Second law, F equal to ma. So the force of A is mass of A into acceleration of A, and force of B is mass of B into acceleration of B, and the negative sign shows opposite direction. Now what is acceleration? Change in velocity. So I write acceleration as final velocity minus initial velocity upon time t. So ma into Va minus Ua upon t equal to minus mb into Vb minus Ub upon t. The t on both sides gets cut. Open the bracket, what do you get? Ma Va minus Ma Ua equal to minus mb Vb, and minus minus becomes plus, plus mb Ub. Now we take this on this side and the negative on this side. So what do you get? MAVA plus MBVB equal to MAUA plus MBUB. Now what is M into V? You know M into V means momentum. So this is the momentum of body A after the collision. Sorry, it is MAVA. Momentum of the body A after collision, momentum of the body B after collision. So the sum of them both, the total momentum of the system after the collision equal to the momentum of the system before the collision. So total final momentum after collision equal to total initial momentum before collision. So this is law of conservation of momentum from Newton's third law of motion. Now remember, what does it say? A body of mass ma was traveling with initial velocity ua. So MAVA is the initial momentum of body A. Same way, it was the final momentum. This is MAUA is the initial momentum of body A, MBUB is the initial momentum of body B. So this is the initial momentum of the whole system, both the bodies before the collision, after the collision, and this is before the collision. So body A had a momentum, body B had a momentum. The total momentum of the body was MAUA plus MBUB. And after the collision, this is the final momentum of body A, final momentum of body B, MAVA plus MBUB, they both are equal. This is the law of conservation of momentum. So, what did we see here? There was a collision. It's called an ideal collision. Why an ideal collision? Ideal collision means the mass is not changing. Now suppose there is an accident between two cars or a car and a truck, a collision, then the car gets damaged, it gets crashed, the fragments fly, it gets broken, damaged, then that is not an ideal collision. In an ideal collision we see there is no change in the mass and the shape of the body. So here let us consider it is an ideal collision. So this experiment is an ideal collision experiment. The sum of momenta, that is momentum, the sum of the two bodies before collision is equal to the sum of the momenta after the collision, provided there is no external unbalanced force acting on them. This is the balance force. How? FAB equal to F minus BA. So the statement can be also given as the total momentum of the two objects is unchanged or conserved by the collision. Means the total momentum before the collision and the total momentum after the collision remains unchanged. This is the law of conservation of momentum. So the whole chapter is summarized here. Everything in this chapter. What is the name of the chapter? Force and laws of motion. So first we saw what was motion in the previous chapter. This chapter told us about the cause of the motion, that is force. We learned balanced and unbalanced forces. Newton's first law tells us that force changes the state of the body. Second law gives us the mathematical equation, how the force changes the momentum of the body. We saw the law of inertia also. We derived the formula F equal to ma. Now look at the previous lectures and learn the derivation, because that derivation can be asked in the exam. Okay, it's a 3 or a 5 mark question that state Newton's second law of motion and derive F equal to ma. Today we saw Newton's third law of motion. To every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, and based on the third law we saw the law of conservation of momentum. Means when there are two bodies interacting, then the total momentum before the collision or before the force and the momentum, total momentum after the force are both equal. Okay, it remains unchanged. Let us try numerical to understand this concept further. A bullet of mass 20 gram is fired with a velocity of 150 meter per second from a pistol of 2 kg. What is the recoil velocity of the pistol? So those people who have gone to shooting will see when you fire a bullet, the gun jerks backward. When you're standing with the gun, you're standing very still, but when you fire the bullet, as the bullet goes front, the gun is jerked backwards due to law of conservation of momentum. Now let us calculate this under the given conditions. So the mass of the bullet M1 is 20 gram, or we can say 0.2 kg. The mass of the gun M2 is 2 kg. So instead of MA and MB, I've used here M1 and M2. Makes no difference. Okay, two bodies, bullet M1, mass M2. So M1 is the mass of bullet, 0.2 kg. One was given in grams, so I've changed it into kg, both in kg, standard unit. What is the initial velocity of the bullet? 0. Why? The bullet is at rest inside the gun. What is the initial velocity of the gun? U2, 0, because the gun is also at rest. You are taking aim. Now when you fire the bullet, the velocity of the bullet is 150 meter per second. we have to find the velocity of the gun. Okay. Now, what is the law of conservation of momentum? m1u1 plus m2u2 equal to m1v1 plus m2v2. Here instead of A and B, they have used 1 and 2, but it makes no difference. It is the same thing. So m1u1 is the total momentum of the bullet before it is fired. m2u2 total momentum of the gun before firing the bullet. m1v1 is the momentum after the bullet after the bullet is fired, and m2v2 is the momentum of the gun after the bullet is fired. Let us put down the values. m1 is 0.2 into 0 initial, m2 is 2 into and initial velocity is 0, so 0 into 0 is 0, 2 into 150 is 3 plus 2v2, m2 is 2 and v2. So we get 0 plus 0 equal to 0 equal to 3 plus 2v2, or 2v2, we take the 3 on this side, so 2v2 equal to minus 3, so v2 equal to minus 3 by 2 or minus 1.5 meter per second. So the velocity of the gun of the pistol is 1.5 meter per second, and this negative sign shows the opposite direction. Means when the bullet is fired in the front, the gun is recoiling at the back. So if you've seen the movies and everything, this is big cannons, tope we say, when it is fired, the cannon jerks back. So everywhere you will see, you can find a lot of examples where this is used. The law of conservation of momentum. So all the shooters, our army men have to give this special training that whenever a bullet is fired, the gun recoils backwards. So there is a special position for holding the gun. Yes, so that all training has to be taken because the physics is very, very important here. Even when the fire brigade, you know what a fire brigade is? When there is a fire, then the firemen rush with a hose pipe to the site of the fire. Now when they put the water over the fire. Now when the water comes out of the pipe with a gushing force, initially there is no water flow. So the water is at rest, velocity 0, the fireman is at rest, velocity 0, total momentum 0. But when with a huge force the water is thrown forward, the man can be jerked backward because of the law of conservation of momentum. So remember this physical example. Example 2, let us see. A girl of mass 40 gram jumps with a horizontal velocity 5 meter per second onto a stationary cart. So what is there? There is a stationary cart. There is a girl whose mass is 40 kg. Okay, there is a girl whose mass is 40 kg. She is running with a speed of 5 meter per second and jumping onto this cart which is at rest. The mass of the cart is 3 kg. So this cart is, the girl is 40 kg. The mass of the cart is 3 kg. Okay, when she jumps on the cart, because of the force, the cart will start to move. Okay, now assuming there is no external unbalanced force, what is the velocity as the car starts? So when the car is starting, you have to find out the velocity. Then later, due to friction, the velocity may come down. But we have to find out the velocity when the cart starts. So the girl is running and jumping on the cart. So what we can see, the total momenta of the girl and the cart before interaction. So girl is running with she's got a mass and she's got a velocity. She's running, so she has a momentum, and the cart also. So m1u1 plus m2u2. So the girl is 40 kg, running with a velocity of 5. The cart is 3 kg, but the velocity of the cart is 0 because it is standing. So 45 are 200, 3 into 0 is 0. So 200 plus 0 is equal to 200 kg meter per second. That is the total momentum of the girl and the cart before she jumps on the cart. Now, after the interaction, the girl has jumped on the cart. So now what we have, m1v1 plus m2v2. Now in this case, when the girl sits on the cart, she jumps on the cart and the cart starts to move, and because the girl is on the cart, the velocity of the cart and the girl is the same. Both are on, she is become now one system. So we have v2 equal to V1. So I can write here V1 or just V. Both the velocities are equal now because the girl has jumped on the car. So the total mass m1 is 40, m2 is 3. So 40 plus 3 into V is 43 V kg meter per second. Okay, the momenta after the girl jumps on the car. Now according to the law of conservation of momentum, they have to be equal and opposite. So 200 kg meter per second equal to 43 V kg meter per second. 43 V equal to 200, V equal to 4.65 meter per second. Now here you can see there is no negative sign. Did you notice that? There is no negative sign here, means the girl, when she jumped on the cart, yes, the cart went forward and not backward. But here also there is a law of conservation of momentum, but the condition has slightly changed. The cart has gone in the direction the girl was running, not in the opposite direction. So here we do not have the opposite sign. So these are two questions. Now you can go through the remaining questions in the textbook, try to understand them properly, and here we end the lesson. So quick summary of the lesson, what we did. We learnt about what is force, what are the effects of force, balanced and unbalanced forces, law of inertia, Newton's first law of motion, then the concept of momentum leading to Newton's second law of motion, Newton's third law of motion, and law of conservation of momentum. So this is all we have in the chapter. Kindly revise it properly, understand the lesson, see the statements for true and false, the numericals, the question answers, the definitions, and prepare well. So I'm going to end here. Thank you.